I'm basically an architect with around 15 plus years of experience. And my studio is based in NCR by the name of Studio Meraki. So my post-graduation is from NUS in building performance and sustainability. So my thought process comes from the innate learning of the principles of nature and biophilic design, and have done extensive research on the principles of cognitive architecture as well. So yes, a lot of studies are done on neurosciences and how spaces affect the psyche of humans. So I've done a lot of research on that, and that is what I try to focus on when I do projects. So I do architecture, interior design projects, as well as we foraying into a bit of in furniture as well now. And sustainable design obviously is one of the areas of interest that we have. So yeah, that is primarily, I would sum up my studio in that manner.
How do you think modern trends in architecture and interior design are influencing the human psyche and human behavior in a space?
Well, I don't know, maybe my outlook is going to be a bit negative on this, because I think and what I feel is like what I say, this is the Pinterest and the Instagram obsessed generation. So, I also do residential projects. So when I think about, I'm doing these projects and there are these whole array of spaces to be designed, like it's a home. It's not just another form. It's a home. You need to sleep, eat, dwell, think, be mentally peaceful. You need to build a family. You need to make memories. So whenever I have a vision for any particular household and a family, I interview all of them. But then, when they come back to me with photographs and, this is trending and this is what we saw on Instagram, we want this material, we want this finish, this glitter. I feel that, it's affecting you in the sense that you don't really know what's good for you, because it's all very artificial and super plastic. And to really understand what you need for yourself, you need to trust a designer and who understands, who has done extensive research in psychology and the neurosciences and how color, materials, textures, sunlight, everything affects you and your health, even indoor air quality for that matter these days. So I do find very, very few clients who are able to really trust the designers in their process, and they mostly want to go forward with just certain imagery that they have in their mind. So I think they're thinking about, like, we have 5 senses, but they just think about one. And that also not in a very complete way, in a holistic way, and it's very patchy. So that's earlier on, maybe say 10 years ago, I think there were less references and more ideas. Now it is lesser, ideas are cut short and there are more references that are plugged onto you, and you need to we need to move around them in some sense. So yeah, I would say it's a bit negative, yeah.
So given that we're at the SmartX conference, how would you define smart design and architecture?
Well, I think before incorporating smart design, we need to be smart individuals. That is the first step. So I find people not being smart enough and just incorporating a lot of technology into their lives without thinking what is the smartest thing to do or not. So everybody is trying to be very automated, and I think it's something, it's like a competition that, everybody is just trying to be, oh, I have this watch, I have this gadget, I can do this, I can do AI, I can do VR. So, but at the core of it all, there is something called as a human the human intuition and the human psyche and a human experience. And when people are using gadgets to replace those experiences with gadgets and technology, that is where I have a problem. Otherwise, who's stopping you to be smart? Be smart. Where smart is there to be.
During your panel talk, just a few moments ago, you were taking part of a panel talk about parametric design, about whether it's a hype or a reality that will very soon catch on into the architecture practice. You said one sentence that was a very controversial yet very, I would say, true phrase, which is form sells. Can you please elaborate more on that, given that naturally, whenever there's an architecture that's a very like unique building, it's either super debatable and like people are totally against it, or it's like, yes, I want more of that. So can you elaborate a bit more about that?
Well, I think I made a very controversial statement. I knew I would be under scrutiny for that. But I really believe in it. Because I think all architects bullshit a lot, but then at the end of the end, in the heart of their hearts, everybody wants this one iconic building in their portfolio, and everybody wants to be on the cover page of a magazine. It's aspirational, but I think it's just become overboard. And it's not just about the architects. I think the clients are more form obsessed because, with the era of internet catching on and you Googling about each and every damn thing in your life, everybody's Googling every damn thing, even the basic things. So that's what I even spoke in my presentation, that you Google parametric design and you see these, whoa, my God, wow, breathtaking images. I also want that. Can we do that? Can we do this computation? Okay, what is this? Parametric. Seems very nice. Let's do parametric. So it's more like that rather than, actually knowing the whole science behind it. Parametricism is a design methodology. It is not a software that generates an exciting form. So that is the differentiator that we need to set aside. And I'm sure that knowledge is going to come through in a few years because it's a newer technology. But the form obsessed generation does not seem to understand that form might embrace the covers of magazines, or maybe do exceptionally well PR for you or your firm, but then your client needs to stay inside there, and if he feels like shit, the building doesn't work. That's what I've been emphasizing on the principles of biophilic design, cognitive architecture, neurosciences. We need to study these more rather than just being very psychotically obsessed about form and how to create different types of forms. Because forget about parametric. These days clients come to us and a building is already constructed. They just want you to develop a good skin for it. They don't care whether it's climatically responsive facade or not, whether how much would be the air conditioning load, how much would be the lighting load, will you get daylight, will you get fresh air, will it be an energy guzzler, the building. They don't really care. They just want a nice looking skin. So it's all turning very superficial. Understanding these core concepts of architecture and the way humans dwell, it's all getting very superficial. So that's the problem I have. In fact, it's not just the clients, but a lot of new students and architects as well. They are just mindlessly learning all these softwares to create forms and not really reading history and reading how we all evolved and came here.
Our generation, I think nowadays people are a lot more aware about mental well-being, physical well-being. There's a lot more focus on that. But in parallel, there's also this Instagrammable Pinterest approach to everything. Like, I want this to be beautiful, I want this to get attention. What do you think is the future of the architecture practice?
Well, I think the future of architectural practice still, I would say, is bright, because I think trends come and go. But if you inculcate certain kind of education in our colleges of architecture, good training in our offices, I don't think that we would be defeated so soon. Because as I said, that softwares, trends come, go. There was paper at one time, there was AutoCAD one time, there is BIM, now there's Grasshopper. So all this will come and go. And all this is not limited to the boundaries of just design or architecture, because all these trends are governed by socio-economic changes, policy making, GDP, fluctuations in the economy. So they're much wider than a small arena that we think about. So I definitely think that the current generation of architects is very smart, and probably they're not technology phobic also. Like, for example, if you tell me to code and learn Grasshopper, I might just think for 2 minutes. But these people, they are unstoppable. They are just unstoppable. So in some sense, I would say they are very on the job and very meticulous that way. Of course, you have I mean, you have Instagram, you have Pinterest, you have a lot of influences that are there on you. But I still think that they would be able to carve their way out in a very good manner. That's what I believe in.
Final question. Can you tell us a bit about what you think of this year's SmartX conference?
So I know the organizers since some time now, and I've seen them grow. And I was amazed at the kind of the show that they put up for 2 days, the kind of architects that have come in. You guys are here. I'm very pleased and happy that Arc Daily is a part of this event as well. So yeah, I think the kind of promotion they are doing, the kind of vendors they're calling, it's all very high quality, and I wish them all the best. And the panels discussions that have been happening on parametricism and AI, I think they've all been very enlightening for me as well, because I think I'm also a novice and I also need to learn a lot. So I am taking away a lot of knowledge from here. So I am very happy.
Thank you.